What are we discussing on today's Locked on Diamondbacks podcast? How the D-backs swept the Miami Marlins, and then answering your guys' listener-submitted questions like, is this the breakout season for Pavin Smith?
You are Locked on Diamondbacks, your daily Arizona Diamondbacks podcast, part of the Locked on Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome into the Locked on Diamondbacks podcast, part of the Locked on Podcast Network, your team every day. Listening to who? The always charismatic host of this podcast, Millard Thomas, multimedia journalist, and I'm a graphic designer. So please go check out my website, millardthomas24.myportfolio.com. On there you can see all my latest work, from my packages to my articles to my photos and my graphic design. On today's show, we're going to be discussing Dbacks sweeping the Miami Marlins, lessons we learned from the last time we faced off against the Chicago Cubs, then answering your guys' questions on today's Mailbag Friday. So a whole bunch I want to get to today, but first I want to say thank you for making Locked on Diamondbacks your first listen every day. I would not be able to do this podcast without you, my loyal listeners, sharing, subscribing, reviewing, doing all that so I could do this podcast for you. Thank you. It's free. It's available on all platforms, so please continue to tell your friends. And one of those platforms is YouTube. We have been trying to go live Sunday through Thursday after D-backs games, so please follow me on YouTube, Locked on Diamondbacks. Hit that subscribe button, hit the bell so you get notified when I go live, or follow me on social media at CreatorThomas24 for my personal account, or look up Locked on Diamondbacks, both Twitter and Instagram, for the podcast handle, because I also tweet out before I go live. And it's an interactive show, so if you ever watch me live on YouTube, please drop a comment in the section, in the YouTube comment section, because I will read it throughout the show, because I want this to be interactive. Like our guy, Coda Kid, who said, "What's up?" dropped a couple of broom emojis. So if you want me to read your comment, just drop it in the section as the show is going on. But now let's get into the Locked on Diamondbacks podcast. All right, let's discuss D-backs versus Miami as D-backs get their sweep of the Marlins. And it was a series where the offense really came alive and really tortured this Marlins pitching staff through 3 games. We were 1 home run shy of the D-backs franchise record for home runs in a 3-game series, I believe. I think they had 9 in 3 games. They needed 10 to tie their record. So an incredible offensive performance by the D-backs all series. But talking about the sweep specifically in the finale, I really want to talk about Eduardo Rodriguez and his ability to grind out starts, because this has been a very nice start to 2025 for Erod. He has been a strikeout machine so far to start the season. We know he had the 13 or so strikeouts against the Nationals, did it again today against the Miami Marlins, 9 strikeouts, 5 1/3 innings pitched. Like, that's exactly what you want to see from Erod. 1 earned run. Great start by him. And it was a start where he had to battle through some trouble, because yes, he gave up 10 hits. He was giving up some contact, was not afraid to attack the zone and give up some contact in today's game. But also, the D-backs defense did not help him out at all. There were a bunch of plays where it felt like the D-backs could have recorded an out, whether it was that Corbin Carroll, just like pop fly ball, like lost in the sun. Tim Tawa made almost a great sliding, diving, get to your feet and throw to first base, but unfortunately the ball fell out of his glove as well. Like, there were just so many almost defensive plays by this D-backs team that Erod had to just persevere through. Runners on, he persevered through and typically got the big strikeout in the game, because repeatedly Erod was attacking the strike zone and was not afraid to challenge those Miami hitters at all. He went up in the zone a lot, threw the fastball 41% of the time, and I just liked the battle of Erod. It felt like he was going to war against that Miami lineup with the way that he attacked them. So loved Erod in this game, and love Erod the whole season so far. He's been grinding out starts. He's been racking up the strikeouts. This is the guy that we wanted to see when we signed him last free agency. So great start to 2025 for Erod. And then, of course, Marvel recently dropped their trailer for the Fantastic Four, right? Well, when talking about the D-backs offense, they have their own Fantastic Four because the only players in this D-backs lineup who do anything are the four lefties at the top: Corbin Carroll, Geraldo Perdomo, Pavin Smith, and Josh Naylor. That is the entire D-backs offense like the last couple weeks. And in today's game, they were the only four D-backs hitters with hits. They got all the RBIs. Like, that core four for the D-backs, that Fantastic Four for the D-backs is carrying our offense right now. Corbin Carroll, he struck out 3 times today. He still kept his hitting streak alive, and he still delivered a single that scored Tim Tawa in the 4th inning. Like, even when Corbin Carroll's not having his best game, he still finds a way, at least in 2025, to still be productive and still had himself an RBI single, 2 runs, a hit, and kept the hitting streak alive. Again, Corbin Carroll slash line, 321, 398, 667. That slug has been monstrous for him in 2025. Look at some of the other guys. Of course, Luis Soto, a.k.a. Juan Arias, a.k.a. Geraldo Perdomo, the man with the best plate discipline arguably in all of baseball. Another great at-bats in today's game. 2 more walks, 2 more RBIs. Like, it's impossible to get Jerry out at the plate. And anyone could go on the box score and just read off the slash line. For my listeners, I just have to always tell you guys the slash line of some of these guys, because Perdomo now 317, 427, 492 is his slash line. Then, of course, Pavin Smith and Josh Naylor each have a home run in their game. Pavin Smith back-to-back days with a home run, and his home run in today's game, where was it? I had it pulled up here. It would have been a home run. Let's see. This is always a fun part of the podcast. Pavin Smith's home run would have been a home run in 22 of the 30 ballparks, and it would have counted in Chase Field. That's really all that matters. And then Josh Naylor, the home run the last 2 days would have only counted in like half the ballparks, but the one he had today, 417 feet, 107 miles off the bat, 30 for 30, every ballpark, it would have been a home run. So the core four at the top did a lot offensively. Of course, once you get past that core four, it gets a little bit more shaky. Lourdes Gurriel, 0 for 5 with 2 strikeouts. Eugenio, 0 for 4 with 4 strikeouts. When your 5 and 6 hitter go 0 for 9 with 6 Ks in one game, like, it is a massive black hole in the D-backs lineup, and they have to do something about it, because I think it's a major issue for the D-backs going forward. If you just get to the middle of the lineup every time, it's just 2 easy outs back to back. And then, if you have a Gabby Moreno thrown in as your number 7 hitter, like, that's a struggle right now for the D-backs offense. And we'll talk about Gabby more in segment number 3, but need to get more out of Gurriel, need to get more out of Suarez. And then, of course, before we end segment number 1, I have to talk about my biggest gripe from the finale, which is something you guys know I need to hit on. It pertains to Justin Martinez, because you guys know how fired up I get when J Mart's not the closer. And look, you could look at today's game and say, J Mart, our best reliever, came out in a high leverage moment in the 7th inning, bases loaded, 2 outs. Like, that's kind of the game situation right there. Who would you rather have than your best reliever in the biggest moment of the game? Yes, I understand that narrative, because that's what you have to sell me if you're Torey Lovello and, one of these guys who believe you could throw J-Mart out in any inning. That's the narrative you want to believe. That's the narrative you're going to sell me coming out of today's game, because I still don't justify J-Mart going out there in the 7th inning. Despite it being a bases loaded situation, I still think that situation would have been better for Jalen Beeks or AJ Puck. And the big reason is because J Mart was facing against Xavier Edwards in that moment. Edwards is a switch hitter. Against right-handed pitchers, when Edwards is a lefty batter, against righties, he has an OPS over 900. But against lefties, his OPS is barely against 500. He's a switch hitter. So theoretically, if you threw AJ Puck out there or Jalen Beeks, his OPS would have dropped down to nearly 500 points. But because you threw out Jamar or righty, the odds of Edwards doing something productive raised considerably because against right-handed pitchers, he has he has over a 900 OPS. He's a superstar against righties and a below average major leaguer against lefties. So what did the D-backs do? We threw out our best righty reliever to challenge Xavier Edwards. In that moment, it would have been smarter to just go with the lefty and make Edwards switch sides. Go with Puck, go with Jalen Beeks in that moment, and then you could have saved Jamar as your closer, which he should be, because I think it's insane when Justin Martinez is not the closer for the Arizona Diamondbacks. I know that's a rant that I have every podcast, but that is what I believe. Hey, it's Locked On Astros. Bro, how did you get this background? Locked On Astros, I can make you one because I am a graphic designer and I made this one myself. So if you guys want a Locked On Astros background, might have to chat offline. Great series by the D-backs. They get the sweep of the Miami Marlins, 1 home run shy of tying a franchise record for a 3-game series. Every starter went into at least the 6th inning, gave up 2 earned runs or less. The rotation is starting to cook, and they're going to need to continue cooking in their next series against the Chicago Cubs, which will break down in segment number 2. But hey, I first want to talk to you guys about scaling your business with Upwork, because scaling your business requires the right expertise at the right time. With Upwork, you can find specialized freelancers in marketing, development, design, and more. Experts ready to help you take your business to the next level. Upwork gives business flexibility by connecting them with top freelance talent across multiple industries, including IT, AI, web development, and marketing. Whether you need extra hands for a project or a long-term partner, Upwork makes hiring simple and affordable. I've been on Upwork. I'm a graphic designer. I've looked at jobs on there for stuff that I can do with my skill set. And if you want to hire people like me, super talented, who could get the job done right, trust me, you're going to want to use Upwork. So visit upwork.com right now and post your job for free. That's upwork.com, upwork.com, to connect with top talent and grow your business today. Back here on the Locked On Diamondbacks podcast, and let's talk about the next series against the Chicago Cubs and lessons we've learned since our last meeting, because I think the biggest lesson that we've learned about the Chicago Cubs is that offense is fantastic. That offense is on fire, and the Cubs are legitimate World Series contenders, maybe, but at least postseason contenders. And it feels like they're going to take that NL Central Division. Coming into 2025, I looked at the Cubs as a dark horse team that could win the Central, but did I really take them serious as a World Series team? Probably not. But with the way that their offense looks, they might be a little bit closer to a contender than not if they can figure out what to do with the rest of their rotation, because their lineup right now is absolutely on fire. And you check their team stats against like the rest of the National League, and a lot of it adds up. I mean, the Cubs, they're number 1 in runs per game. They're like top 4, top 5 in both home run percentage, stolen base percentage. Like, it's a team with power. It's a team with speed. It's a team that can hit for average. Like, the Cubs are scary because they have so many different ways that they can kill you. Kyle Tucker, maybe the move of the offseason, thought it was idiotic for the Astros to trade Tucker. That's the kind of guy you give $35 million a year to. Kyle Tucker is as good as any superstar in Major League Baseball. He's just not as like name brand as the Juan Sotos or Aaron Judges, but Kyle Tucker by the stats is as good as any of those guys. Legitimately, go look at the Kyle Tucker stats the last few years. He is fantastic. And so you have him in this Cubs lineup. Now it's Seiya Suzuki looking better with a Kyle Tucker in the lineup. You got Nico Harner hitting for average. Pete Crow Armstrong isn't bad. He's an athlete. Michael Busch having a good season. And of course, the guy that's, really making it all work, really stirring the pot, the glue guy, Carson Kelly. Okay, maybe that was a little bit of an exaggeration, but Carson Kelly is having himself a fantastic season. So I cannot hate the man at all because through 27 at bats, he has a 407 average and a 1538 OPS with 4 home runs, 11 walks. I cannot hate the man. And so the D-backs, they're going to have to slow down that Cubs offense. And thankfully, the D-backs are throwing out their top 3 starters in the rotation to do that. We got Corbin Burnes going in game number 1. He did not face the Chicago Cubs last time in the opening series of the year. So going to get a good look of Burnes in this game against the Cubs. First look of 2025. And for Burnes, he's really the only D-back starter who is yet to have like a great start or like a Corbin Burnes start. Just a start when I walk away. He has yet to have a start where I walk away, I'm like, I could see why we paid Burnes all that money. I could see why he's the D-backs highest paid player in franchise history. I don't think we've had that start yet from Burnes. Everyone else in this D-backs rotation, they've had their up and downs, but they've at least had one start where I was like, man, that guy's really fantastic. Burnes in his most recent start was better than anything else he's done in 2025, more encouraging than any other start, but still haven't exactly been blown away. I haven't sat back in my chair and been like, man, that guy's worth $40 million a year. So want to see that in game 1 against the Cubs. Zach Gallen in opening day, he started opening day against the Chicago Cubs. He really struggled with his command in that game. If you remember, it was like the 4-4-4 game, 4 innings, 4 earned runs, 4 walks, right? Like just 4s across the board, like he hit the jackpot or something. For Gallen, will his command still struggle? I mean, it's been kind of iffy all season. There are games where he definitely can't find that fastball, but then maybe that knuckle's working for him. Maybe that slider's working for him, or maybe he's just doing just enough where he's able to figure it out and, power through 6 innings because he's still a super talented guy. So want to see if the command issues are there for him, and if they are, how does he work around that? Because Gallen is not the kind of guy where if his fastball is not working, he's not going to keep throwing it until it does work. If he notices those first couple innings, the command for the fastball is not there, he will just abandon it completely and then throw 80% knuckleball. So very curious to see what kind of command issues Gallen has. And of course, Kelly kind of dealt with the same thing as Gallen, but then he settled down and was great the rest of the start. So really, we just need Kelly to replicate what he did last time against the Chicago Cubs, because I really like our starters in this series going against those Cubs starters, because I'm not scared at all of the trio of pitchers the D-backs offense is going to see. Colin Rea, Ben Brown, and Jameson Taillon. Like, I'm not scared of that trio at all. Rea, he's been a reliever converted to a starter this season because of injuries to that Cubs rotation. In his first start of the season, went 3.2 innings pitched. Want to know if they're using him more like an opener, or if that was just because they want to build up his arm strength as it was the first start of the season for him. But Rea versus Corbin Burnes, 2 former Brewer guys. D-backs better win that game. I mean, they should win all these games just based on the pitching of the Cubs. But, of course, the Cubs offense is elite. So can't expect the D-backs to win every single game. But after Rea, I mean, you got Ben Brown. He's a 2-pitch guy. He just throws a fastball and a knuckle curve. Like, for the most patient offense in baseball, the most patient lineup in the D-backs, knowing all they have to do is either wait for a fastball or a breaking pitch, and that's it. I like the D-backs odds in that game. Then the final game, you got Jameson Taillon on the mound, who all you have to do is just don't swing at his 4-seamer. Really effective 4-seamer. But if he throws anything else, he's allowing like an 800 slug on every other pitch he throws. His cutter or sweeper, monster slug allowed on it. So just let that fastball whiz by you and swing at the next pitch, because if it's a non-fastball, you're probably going to crush it. And then the one final question I have is, with Lourdes Gurriel and A. Eugenio, should the D-backs think about test driving other options with those 2 guys just being massive black holes for you right now? Because there's 2 internal options the D-backs have if we want to replace either one of Gurriel or Suarez. For Gurriel, we have Randall Grichuk just sitting right there, a right-handed bat who we saw go off last year for the D-backs down the stretch. And so far in 2025, he has not been that bad at all. And of course, Randy doesn't get to play a ton, but when he does play, 6 hits, 5 of them are doubles. Like, he does typically go for extra bases when he comes in the game. And then for Suarez, if we want to test drive a Jordan Lawler, Geraldo Perdomo left side, we could do that too. Gurriel and Suarez are providing absolutely zilch. So why not switch it up and see if we could get an injection of juice from either Randall Grichuk or Jordan Lawler in the future? Now we'll discuss your listener submitted questions on this Mailbag Friday in segment number 3. But hey, get the supplies you need from the site made for the skilled trades, Supply House. Whether you're in plumbing, HVAC, or electrical work, Supply House is the reliable way to order products online. Their easy-to-use website is packed with helpful resources and the latest product info to help you get the job done right. Plus, with a complete inventory of over 200,000 parts from 400 plus top brands, you'll find exactly what you need delivered fast from coast to coast. Need help with an order? Supply House offers expert support and industry-leading service, so you'll always talk to a real person. And for the trade pros looking for an extra edge, their free Trademaster program offers exclusive perks like a dedicated phone line, free shipping, and discounts on every order. Thousands of skilled professionals are already taking advantage. Now it's your turn. Join the Trademaster program today at supplyhouse.com/TM and start ordering plumbing, HVAC, and electrical supplies with just a few clicks. Plus, use promo code SH5 for 5% off your first order. That's supplyhouse.com. All right, back here on the Locked on Diamondbacks podcast. And now it's Mailbag Friday. I got some listener submitted questions I'm going to answer, but for the people who are currently listening to the Locked on Diamondbacks podcast, I will give you guys the opportunity. You can drop any question you want in the YouTube comment section, and I will read it and answer it live on air for the next few minutes. But let's first start off with some questions I already have written down. The first one is from Frog Fan, one of our go-to guys, and he said, or gals, I actually don't know about Frog Fan, so let me not assume. Which player signature would you want the most? Frog Fan, fantastic question. And he does ask, it could be for value or for personal reasons. And so because you frame it like that, I'm going to give you 2 answers. For value, it's obvious. Give me Corbin Carroll, future Hall of Famer. Give me J Mart, future closer of the future, closer of the present, and going to be one of the best relievers we've ever seen. And then also give me Jordan Lawler, the next generation for the D-backs of prospects, of players, of talent. Those are the 3 guys I would want in terms of value of who I think the stock can rise the most. If I had to resell it, the most money and profit I can make. But if you're talking about personal reasons, give me Geraldo Perdomo or give me Jake McCarthy, because those are like my 2 guys, and I would be most ecstatic probably if I got an autograph for one of those 2 players. Mauricio Calazzo said, what do you want to see on the new D-Back City Connect? Saw the leak on Sun's tracker, and I hope that ain't it. If you're talking about the leak that looks more kind of like the Phillies City Connect, kind of gives you that softball jersey feel. If that's truly the City Connect, I will save my thoughts, because I think I might have a hot take on those jerseys. I actually don't hate them if those are their official jerseys, but I'm not going to give my official thoughts on the City Connect jerseys until they're officially out, till we actually see them. And again, guys, I am a graphic designer, so whatever I say on the new jerseys, my opinion stands. But I'm not going to give my official opinion until I actually see the official jersey. So we'll wait on that. But I was hoping for the City Connect, it would just be the normal Serpientes, but like the reverse, where we got the replica last year of the Serpientes jersey, where it just black with teal on the black. Like, you could have just done that. Just give us the same Serpientes jersey, but it's black with the serpientes and teal with the teal stripes. Like, that's all you need to do. Fortunately, it doesn't sound like Major League Baseball did that. So hopefully whatever they drop as the City Connect jerseys is absolutely fire, because I will be at the D-backs game where they give out the replica jersey of the next City Connect. Next question among the fans. D-backs believer said, is this really the Pavin Smith breakout season? I know it's crazy to think about, because Pavin Smith was a guy who was like, we always said on this podcast, and we love Pavin Smith. He's a friend of the pod. He's been on the podcast before, but whenever we had to talk about Pavin Smith as like a realistic major leaguer and like what kind of player can he turn into on the major league level, we were always very hesitant and always kind of on the negative side of Pavin, because it was always like, it's not like he's batting 300. He's not Luis Ariz out there, racking up singles. He has no power. It's not like he at least has, double power, gap power. Like, he's not providing you home runs. He's not really hitting in the gap. He wasn't playing great defense either, first base, outfield. So it's like, when I thought about Pavin Smith prior to his 60-game sample size last year, I was like, he's a mediocre offensive player. He might be worse as a defensive player. It's like, what does he actually do well to help your major league team? I really couldn't answer you. Now, fast forward to 2025, it's like, how does Pavin Smith help your team? Well, when you bat 400, when you get on base nearly 500, and your slug is almost 800, like, yeah, you're going to help your team. His slash line is 404, 491, 745. Is that slash line sustainable? No, not whatsoever. No one is going to hit those numbers for the course of a full season. But is the idea of a breakout year, Pavin Smith just being much improved, maybe playing like a borderline all-star, right? Still finishing with like a 290 average, maybe an 800 OPS, like basically his 60 games from last year, maybe toned down a little bit for a 162 game sample size. Like, is that possible? I think it is, because he's even gotten better as this season has progressed. Like, the slash line is actually going up the more games he plays. The K rate is going down, which I think is really fantastic. The hard contact stats are there. He's barreling up the ball at some of the best rates in Major League Baseball. He's got the launch angle. He's got the hard hit percentage. Like, he's got it. He's kind of got everything working for him right now. Exit velocity is good. And it's like, when I look at Pavin Smith and what he's done in 2025, like, everything seems a little bit sustainable right now. When you hit the ball hard, when you don't smash it into the ground, when you're all the expected stats are also really good for Pavin. Like, that's another thing. The expected batting average, the expected slug tells you he's covering like almost the entire zone. There's not really a weakness on the strike zone for Pavin right now. So, like, I kind of have to believe what we've seen from Pavin. His contact numbers are a little bit down this season, but I think it's because he's just swinging a lot more, not trying to be as patient, trying to be more aggressive early in counts, which I think has really helped out his offensive game in 2025. So as of right now, I believe in the Pavin Smith breakout season. And then Papa22 said, for our final question of this segment, what's wrong with Gabriel Moreno? Moreno, I predicted this season, I think he was going to finish like top 10-ish in WRC plus among catchers. Does not look like that's going to be the case. Moreno right now struggling against the fastball mightily. 167 average, 167 slug. I believe to at least be a competent major leaguer, you have to hit the fastball. Moreno has not done that this season, and he's really struggled with anything elevated in the zone. And so if you throw him something 92, high heat, he's going to swing and he's probably going to miss. And the thing with Moreno, he's chasing more than usual. The play discipline numbers are still good. The walk rate's still good. The strikeout numbers are still good, but he is chasing more balls out the zone more than usual. And knowing he is striking out on elevated fastballs, it just leads to a big weakness in his game. So he needs to get better at the fastball, needs to get better with pitches elevated in the zone. The other weird thing about Moreno this season, he is not hitting lefties at all. He is hitting righties better. He has a sub 200 average against lefties in 2025. Just very, very weird numbers for Moreno. I don't think batting behind Gurriel and Eugenio helped. I've always contended I think Moreno looks better when he hits higher in the lineup. And so that's what I would do. Move Moreno to the number 5 spot in the lineup, and then let's see what happens. That's it for this edition of the Locked On Diamondbacks podcast. Come back next week for more Diamondbacks news coverage and insight. And as always, stay safe, stay healthy. Deuces.